Welcome back to A Cup of Tea with Shawna Marie. This has been a very hard video to make because for whatever reason I have to keep on starting it over. One time it was the mailman came to the door with a package, had to start over. Then the phone rang, had to start over. And it's just one thing after another, and it's just getting comical. Maybe I'm gonna do a little bit fewer verses than I intended. This morning I was looking to prepare for this video, and I was thinking, well, maybe that chapter in Peter, one of the Peters that my husband and I were looking in, either 1 Peter or 2 Peter, maybe that's that chapter that we were talking about a couple weeks ago, that'll be the one. And I was looking for it and I didn't exactly find it, and I guess I could have looked further and found it, but I think what happened was I got caught by what was convicting to me. And what was convicting to me came out of 1 Peter 2:18 through 1 Peter 3:18, that whole portion there. I guess some things that I'm going through in my life that maybe I'm bringing upon myself, learning from, you know, things like how to behave better at work. Maybe when somebody tells me to do something a certain way and I think I know a better way. That's something my mom, if she's watching this, is probably laughing. To go ahead and do it, even if I you know, it's just something that when I read in 1 Peter, that it talked about how we're to submit to authority. And of course, we're not talking about somebody telling you to do something bad and evil, but just a way you do something at work. You know, how does the management want this done or whatever. And so it was a little close to home, and it kind of caught me. But then I think of this in my own life at home too. What kind of wife am I? Because the Bible tells us how to be as wives, tells us how to be as husbands too. But since again, this is a cup of tea with ladies, most likely, I would like to talk about the little middle section that came out of all this. So if on your own you'd like to read 1 Peter 2 and 3 and see the whole context of what I was talking about, you may find it interesting because it'll make you realize it applies to much more than being a wife. But right there in the middle, it really, see if I can find it. Oops, there it is. Okay, yeah. It's very simple. I'm just going to read these 6 verses and let it be something that we meditate on together as we drink our tea. Today my tea is delicious, but that's not the name of it. It is chai tea from the TAZO company. I'll put that in the description below. And I have honey in it and milk. Very, very good. Very good. So these 6 verses in 1 Peter 3, 1 through 6 is where we'll just zone in on. It says, "In the same way, you wives, be submissive to your own husbands, so that even if any of them are disobedient to the word, they may be won without a word by the behavior of their wives, as they observe your chaste and respectful behavior. Your adornment must not be merely external, braiding the hair and wearing gold jewelry or putting on dresses, but let it be the hidden person of the heart, with the imperishable quality of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is precious in the sight of God. For in this way, in former times, the holy women also, who hoped in God, used to adorn themselves, being submissive to their own husbands, just as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, and you have become her children if you do what is right without being frightened by any fear." So, are we children of Abraham? Are we Christians? you know, then we women are also going to follow this example that Sarah gave. And I read that section and I thought there's meekness that needs to be sought after by me, whether it be at work or especially, well, at least in this section, this especially talks about being a wife. But if you read that whole section I gave you, 1 Peter 2:18 through 1 Peter 3:18, you will see, and maybe even more of it, you will see what I'm talking about for it being more than just about being a wife. But in this section about being a wife, I'm just thinking, wow, if there's any New Year's resolution that you and I could have, and if we're going to be able to carry it out, I know we can't do it perfectly, but we really must ask God for help in order to do it well, or at all. It would be to meditate on that and remember these verses, and seek to be meek, and seek to not talk back, and seek to not always have the better idea, and know when it's time to talk and know when it's time not to, and if and how, but to seek to be submissive and servant-like and bite the tongue as often as you must. And what kind of change would that be in our homes? I think for me it will make a big difference, and I will prayerfully look to see the change in myself even this year with the help of the Lord. And I want to challenge and encourage you, Christian lady, to do the same and see how this year goes. And maybe this is something we could talk more about throughout the year, but for now, let's just meditate on that. And while you're sipping your tea, I'll just read it one more time. Have some too, because we should really meditate on this and see if we couldn't seek to have a meek behavior and just, yeah. In the same way, you wives, be submissive to your own husbands, so that even if any of them are disobedient to the word, they may be won without a word by the behavior of their wives, as they observe your chaste and respectful behavior. Now, just for clarification, thankfully my husband is obedient to the word, but I do understand that all wives should be like this, whether or not you have a believing husband or not. It'll still bring peace to the home. Your adornment must not be merely external, braiding the hair and wearing gold jewelry or putting on dresses, but let it be the hidden person of the heart, with the imperishable quality of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is precious in the sight of God. For in this way, in former times, the holy women also who hoped in God used to adorn themselves, being submissive to their own husbands. So that's my challenge to us all, that we would adorn ourselves with this behavior. Doesn't mean you can't wear earrings or make your hair pretty or other things, but those things aren't more important than this. This is the most important, that we adorn ourselves with this behavior, being submissive to their own husbands. With a good attitude, right? I'm adding that to my own words, and I'm adding that is what we should do. Just as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, and you have become her children if you do what is right without being frightened by any fear. Okay, so I have a lot of work to do. I know I'm far from being, I mean, I might do it sometimes, I may do well sometimes, but too many times obey with a bad attitude or something like that. I have a lot of work to do, and so this is my New Year challenge for myself, and hopefully I've encouraged you as well. So God bless you. Have a good week, and until next time, enjoy your tea. Okay, I gotta go put the camera off.